Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to make this a crab. Let's jump right into this. So for this video I'm going to use this yarn, which is my absolute favorite yarn to use. It is so soft. It is so nice to work with. I absolutely love this yarn. The color of this is tomato. I don't know if you can see that. So that's what I'm using today, and these balls, I know most of mine I roll into cakes. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. These balls, all of them have a center pull, so they're fantastic. I absolutely love these. You get them from Michael's. So I am also using a 4.5 millimeter hook for this. Let's start with a magic ring. And 6 single crochets. So we're not slip stitching or chaining one, we're doing this amigurumi style, so we're gonna jump right into our stitches. We're gonna do 2 single crochets in each stitch around. So after your first stitch, you find a stitch marker that's bright enough. So after your first stitch, or your marker goes on your first stitch, then you can put the second one in. So 2 stitches, each stitch around, that gives you 12 stitches. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet and an increase. So that's your 1 single crochet, and then your increase is 2 single crochets in the same space, and repeat. So this will give you 18 stitches. Next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase. That's number 1, that's number 2, and then your increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. This brings you up to 24 stitches. The next round is going to be 3 single crochets and an increase. For those that want to work ahead, we're going up to 5 single crochets and an increase in order. For those that want to work with me, that's number 1. That's 3 single crochets and then your increase of 2 single crochets in the same stitch, bringing you up to 30 stitches. I did something wrong. That was out of order. Your next round is going to be 4 single crochets and an increase. It's not bad according to my camera. It's only been 6 minutes and 50 seconds. 6 minutes to do this. Your next round and your last round is going to be 5 single crochets and an increase, and then we're going to just do single crochets after this. That's number 1, 2. That's 5 single crochets, and then your increase of 2 single crochets in the same space, bringing you up to 42 stitches. So we're going to end up making 2 of these, and so you just got to make sure that it all has the same amount of stitches. And my increase, and I'm done my increases. So for the next 2 rows, you're just going to do 1 single crochet in each of these 42 stitches. You're going to fasten off this guy, but you're not going to fasten off the second one that you make, but we'll get to that. For now, just do your 2 rows of 1 single crochet in each of these 42 stitches, and I will see you on the other side. So this is my 2 rows of 42 stitches. As far as this middle goes, you don't need to do this, but I always like to just tie a knot. You know, especially if kids are going to be playing with this toy. You don't want anything, I mean, not that anything's really going to happen, but I want my center to stay closed. I don't want any chance of any stuffing coming out of any hole that might have kind of reopened up. Not that I don't trust my own crocheting. So this one you're going to fasten off of. You're going to make another one, but you're not going to fasten off that one. So just a little tiny tail, because you just kind of want to hide him away. So go ahead and make your second one, but don't fasten off. We need him attached because we're going to be crocheting the 2 together. So you're going to get this artifact around, which is what we want for a crab. And so this next one that the one that you're going to make here, you need to still be attached so we can just start crocheting together. So that is what we're going to do. So I'm going to put my pattern on the screen. Go ahead and make your second one, and I will see you on the other side. So I'm back around. I'm not fastening off, so let me take care of my middle first. We're going to crochet this together, so hopefully you have 42 stitches, and each one has to be the same. I mean, if you have less or an extra, then you're going to see a little bit of a jog in your togetherness. So I'm going to use the spot that I fastened off with over here to start. What you need to do is go stitch for stitch. So like I said, I'm going to use my fasten off spot to start. So get them all lined up. You're going to go into your stitch and into your stitch. I guess you really don't need a marker, but so all you're going to do is go stitch for stitch. So just make sure that you're getting under both pieces of the stitch on this side, because it is backwards. It's kind of rolled over a bit. And you're just going to go stitch for stitch doing a single crochet. So do this until you're about 3/4 of the way around, and then we're going to have to put some eyes on this guy and some stuffing in him. So if you lose your spot, you can always just do this to find your stitch. But for the most part, I would just try to hold them. It just goes faster if you just hold them exactly where they need to be. So I've got a little bit left. I'm just gonna stop here. So I want to put eyes in this guy before I stuff him as well. So I got my safety eyes already, and I put my eyes between the second and third row from the bridge. So 1, 2, and 3 up here. So don't count this. Count the other rows. And then I did mine about 5 or 6 stitches apart. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so 6 stitches you can see visibly in between. Oh, there we go. So now we can stuff it. So I'm going to jam him pretty full. I made my other one fairly flat, and I'm not sure I'm a fan of that, cartoonish wise. I just kind of want him a little fuller. So once you are satisfied, now keep in mind you're going to have to move your stuffing up to the front once you've got it closed to kind of move it around. So just continue on your merry way. So this is where I started, so we're just going to go into there. We're going to fasten off. You just need a weaving tail to weave. So just move your stuffing around back up to the front, and there we have it, the start of our crab. So this guy can just get weaved in. I don't think you have to be too super serious about it. Just need a little piece of black. You're going to tie a double knot on one end, or a single. I guess it all depends on how thick your yarn is. This stuff's pretty thick. So it doesn't really matter where you go in. I'm just going to come up from the bottom. So don't pull this in, we're going to push it in. And then just, I don't know, go down, because you want to go sideways, right? So go down into the middle there, and then pop up, preferably right across from where you are, there. So when you pull, that shows up there. You're just going to go back down the same hole and pop out wherever you pop out. Let's pop out the bottom. And like that, that's all I did for this guy, or for my other guy. So I'm going to tie a knot here too. I'm going to poke both of them in, and that way, you know, if kids are playing with it, it's just an extra safety precaution thing. So cut these off, but leave these nubbies. That looks funny. Here, you're just going to poke those down into the stuffing far enough that you're not going to see it through the doll. There we go, the beginning of our little crab. Up next will be the claws. So this is what your claw is going to look like. It's going to have a slight bend for being sewn onto him. And these two are made separately, so we're going to make this one first, and then we'll make this one, and then we're going to crochet these two together and make this. That's the plan. So we need to start with another magic ring. Six single crochets. You're going to do one single crochet increase for your first row. So we're only going to increase each row by 3, not 6. That's number 1. Your next stitch will get the increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. You're going to do this 3 times, and then you're going to have 9 stitches when you're done. Your next round is just going to be one single crochet in each of these 9 stitches. That's 9. You can pull your middle closed and then turn on inside right. Oops. Computer decided to go black on me. So your next round, sorry, that's my cat in the kitty litter box. I have the pleasure of working right next to it. So your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase. I think it's buried, Salem. That's 2 single crochets, and then your increase. Oh my god, he's still digging. This will give you 12 stitches. And you're going to do this 3 times around. Oh my god, all he did was pee, seriously. He didn't even poop. I don't think I'm allowed to say poop. I don't know. So your next round, or next 3 rounds, are going to be just 1 single crochet in each of these 12 stitches, and then we're going to do a decrease. So I'll see you back here after your 3 rows is done. That's by 3 rounds, so that's what you should have. So your last round is just going to be 2 single crochets and a decrease. This brings you down to 9 stitches. That's number 1, number 2, and then your decrease. So go in, pull up a loop, go into your second stitch, pull up a loop. Should have 3 loops on. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. That's your decrease. So 1, 2 single crochets, and then a decrease. 2 single crochets, and a decrease. And that is it. So we can fasten off this one. You need a little bit of a sewing tail because we are going to sew this to the other one we make, just to kind of hold it in place type deal. This gets a little bit of stuffing. And then we'll move on to the other one. Doesn't take much, that's for sure. And you don't have to be overly crazy about stuffing them too, so. Because you don't want them too far apart. Like if you overstuff these, like this one doesn't have much in it. This one has more. because if you do that, then they're going to be too far apart. Do you know what I mean? You want them like decently spaced. So the next claw, you're going to start with the magic ring and 6 single crochets. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our first round. It's going to be 1 single crochet and an increase. It's not going to be 2 in each stitch. So that's my 1 single crochet. Then my next stitch gets the increase. We want these to be the same shape. So you're going to do this 3 times. This will give you 9 stitches. That is my 9. So you can make sure your middle's pulled tight, and then you can flip her around to right side in. We're going to do 2 single crochets and an increase to 12. So far, just like our other one. Your next round is going to be 3 single crochets and an increase. So, for the next 4 rows, you're going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 15 stitches, and I will see you on the other side. Your final round, this is what you should have. Your final round is going to be 3 single crochets and a decrease. We're not fastening off, we're staying attached. That's 3 single crochets and then your decrease. And repeat. So this brings you down to 12 stitches. So we're not fastening off. Oh, my battery's gonna die. So take your little guy here. Thread him. You can just go in right next to your marker. You can use 2 stitches and just kind of sew him on. So I just went into the same stitch there, and now I'm going to go over here and use a second stitch. I usually generally only use 2 stitches, so when you go in again, we're just going to make a knot to go through this loop. You can cut some of this off, and then we're going to stuff this other side. So you can just jam him down there. We'll put some stuffing in him. So once you got this guy sewn to that guy, we can crochet them together. So you're just gonna do, I almost stuck that in my mouth and then tried to talk. So just go into your next stitch, because we kept this guy open for your stitch marker. Too much stuffing popping up. So just put your stitch marker back in. We're gonna just do 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So your stitch marker was in that spot to begin with, so we're just going to go across to the first stitch that's available on this other piece, and we're going to make a stitch, and we're going to go around this guy, just doing 1 single crochet in each stitch. So go as far over as you can on this one, and then come over here into this one to the first stitch that you can physically get into. And then back around to your marker. I did not count that, but my last one I had 17. 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Yeah, I had 17 on my last one too, so I had 17. Sometimes it can just change. I don't know why. But that's what I wrote down for my numbers, so 17. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet and a decrease. So that's your 1 single crochet, and then don't forget to go into the actual stitches that are there. So this guy here, we made him a stitch, so go into here and here for your decrease. Just make sure you're going into all the stitches you just did. Some of them are going to be small because you probably pulled tight, or went across. Like when you go across the two, they can be small. And then there's another tiny one right in there, and that's because that's just where I went between the two pieces. Oops. And one more for me. There we go. For the next 3 rows, you should have 12 stitches. For the next 3 rows, you're just going to put 1 single crochet in each of these 12 stitches. So that's my 3 rows are done. I'm just going to put a little bit of stuffing in here. So I'm just going to hold them together because I feel it stops me from overstuffing. Does that make sense? Like if I wasn't holding those two together, I'd probably just keep jamming stuff down there. Alrighty, so your next round, so this is where we're going to start making our turn. We're going to do 8 single crochets and 4 half doubles, so that's number 1 with our marker. That's 8 single crochets and then 4 half doubles. Your next 3 rounds, so this next one here, you're going to start with a half double. Because I want all the half doubles on this side to make the turn. So make sure, if you're in the same space that I am, if you're not in the same space that I am, then just know that your half doubles need to be on this side of your claw to make the turn to do this. So if you're over here and I'm telling you to do it now, if you've done your 8 and it puts you on this side, then don't listen to what I'm saying. You need to do your half doubles need to be on this side of the claw for the turn. But hopefully you're just where I am and it doesn't have to be that confusing. So 1 half double in your marker here, and now we're going to do 7 single crochets. That's 7 single crochets, and then I'm going to do my 4 half doubles again. So we're going to do this for 3 rows. Actually for 2 more now. 3 altogether. That was number 1. So let's do this one more time, or 2 more times. So your next round is going to be 1 half double under your marker, and then 11 single crochets. So your single crochet back to your marker. And then your final round is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch for 12 stitches. You go into your next stitch, fasten off. You need a sewing tail. I sewed this on open. You can do whatever you want. So when you stuff this, you need to stuff this to take the curve. So this is what it should look like. I might have put more of a bend in my other one. You can put as big a bend as you want in this guy. All depends on how you stuff it. That's all there is to it. So go ahead and make your other one. I'll put all the patterns on the screen for you to make your other one, and then we'll come back and sew them on. So to sew these on, I sewed them on open, and I did it right underneath this lip, but just make sure that you're in the front by your face. That's my guy. So, like I said, you can still bend them as much as you want. They are oversized, I know. Please don't have to yell at me in the comments. I know they're I know they're oversized. I did that on purpose. I make a lot of things that I try to do exactly. And you know what? I wanted to do cartoonish with these guys. Hence the face. Because I mean, if I was trying to keep it real, he wouldn't have a face like that. So I know they're oversized, but once the legs get on, they're not so bad. So I decided to do curly Q legs. I don't know where I'm going to put this guy. I decided to do curly Q legs because making the legs was very difficult. I made 3 different legs. I didn't like any of them. I did the curly Q legs, and I thought, oh my god, those are fantastic. I absolutely love them. So that's why I chose to do that. If you have a better idea, then you can go right ahead. You're going to have to make 6 of these. I'm going to do one with you. And then you can go ahead and do the rest yourself. So you're going to start with a magic ring. I'm so used to saying that. You're going to start with a slip knot. So slip knots are tough for you. Here's a couple of ways. So I take this. This is the front, and I just wrap it around my finger, and I make an X. I hold this down with my other finger. I take this guy, and I put him over there, and then I grab this guy. Take my finger out. Now I'm holding these 2 pieces down here. I'm holding those, and I'm pulling up on the knot. There are other ways to do a slip knot. If you're used to doing the magic ring kind of deal, if you just let go and pull, that's your slip knot as well. So there's a few ways to do it. This is the one I like, but I know sometimes the slip knot is a struggle. We're going to chain 21. That's my 21. So now I have 20 working chains. The 21st one is on my hook. Starting in the second one down, we're going to be doing double crochets. So you just want to count your humps. That's the first hump. That's the second hump. So we're going into this. So there's a V. If you want to do it V's, there's a V, there's a V. We're going into this right there. And that's only because we're doing double crochets. So put a double crochet in there. And then put a second double crochet in the same space. And that's what we're going to do all the way up. We're going to put 2 double crochets in each stitch all the way up to the top. And that's going to make our curly Q. So you can see it starting to turn now at the bottom. If you wanted to make an adjustment with your curly Q because you don't quite like the way it's curling, or you don't like it, you actually go down in hook size, not up in hook size. Or you can try a different, you can do a half double. You can do a single if you want to do a single. But this is the size that I wanted, so I'm just about done. It doesn't take long. There's only 21 stitches, but the fact that you got to make 6 of them, that's what takes a long time. So once you get to the top, you're gonna, obviously you need a sewing tail. Now there's not a whole lot to sew on. You're probably only gonna do like 3 or 4 stitches back and forth to sew this on. What I did was I tied my straggler and my tail together, not super duper tight, not really to pull it that close together, but I only put a couple of stitches in to even tie these on. So that's my curlicue. So you can stretch it out and adjust it. So you need to make 5 of them now. We just did 1, but you need 6 all together. So I'll put my pattern, there's not much of a pattern, but I'll put it on the screen and I will see you on the other side. So I've got all mine done. Mine was done ahead of time. Okay. I kept my straggler. I didn't do anything with my straggler. I'm just going to use it to make knots. And then I'll tuck that away. So these have to go fairly close together because there's not a whole lot of room. So I just took mine. I went in to a post fairly close to my leg. I just picked up one post and pulled it through. I made a stitch. It just went into my leg. I made a stitch, so just one. And then I tied my straggler and my sewing tail in a double knot. And then these guys just get tucked away for nobody to see ever again. And that is how I attached all my legs. So it goes really, really quick, which is good because building 6 legs took some time. So I just pull that through. Now you can, if you wanted to, really come out the same hole as your straggler that you just pulled through to weave. You can make another knot, another double knot, if you have a long enough end. You can cut that off and you can poke that down. That way it's a double whammy that you know for sure that this leg is never coming off. Ever. Ever. Anyway, being a little dramatic about that. So that's how I sewed my legs on. There we go, guys. Thanks for joining me. Put his claws. You can put his claws right together. Isn't he so cute? Anyway, thanks for joining me, guys. And I'll see you in the next video.